Good morning, Créde. How are you, ma'am?
Morning, Norma. I'm all right. I have a bit of a cold, so my voice is a bit funny today. Apologies.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry to hear that. Hopefully. Oh man, I can't even talk. So at least you're a little stuffy, and I can't get my words out. But hopefully you had a great weekend. I know today you did post on Twitter, and guys, if you aren't, Créde, can you remind people of your Twitter handle in case they are watching us and not following you?
Sure, yeah, it's at Créde underscore perform. So at CREDE underscore perform.
Wonderful. Yeah, be sure to follow her if you're not already. But because, for instance, last week she tweeted out asking for suggestions for her piece. And one of the common things that she got was talking about discipline, sticking to your rules and such, which you can have great strategies, but if you can't be disciplined and stick to your rules, you are, for lack of a better term, screwed. So sorry for the the harshness there, but there's no other way to put it. Anyway, Créde, take it away.
Perfect. No, I'm all for harshness and serving up hard truths. So it's all about that, the psychology side of things. So yeah, thanks for everyone who sent in or who answered that tweet with what you wanted to hear more about. And there was a common theme in the tweets, and it was actually this idea of people wanting to be able to stick to loss limits, having patience to wait for A plus setups, and basically just having discipline and respecting their rules. And so I thought that would be a really good topic to talk about because it's so important in trading. And it actually is the essence of the mental edge. So if you think that the technical side of trading is all about understanding what you need to be doing. So when you're, choosing your strategy and you're testing it and all of that, you're figuring out what you need to be doing to make money. The psychology side of it is actually helping you to do that, to execute your plan. And so anytime you're not executing your plan is probably most likely something on the psychology side of things. So when someone has a specific issue and they're not sticking to their trading rules, so maybe you're not being patient enough to wait for A plus setups, or you're not respecting your daily loss limit, or whatever it is, then it's most likely something in the psychology side of things that's happening. But it all boils down to not sticking to your trading rules. And so that is discipline. That's really what we're talking about. But there's a bit of a misconception that with discipline, you need willpower in order to have discipline. And that if you can just summon up enough willpower, you'll be able to stick to your rules. And I want to bust that myth because willpower just doesn't cut it. It won't help you here. So the answer to those questions that people have asked is quite complex and individual for each person, but we can address it through the lens of how do you better stick to your trading rules. And there's a few different things that are important when we're talking about discipline. So one is having structure. So the first two are easy wins or easy things to implement. So the first is having really good structure. So having excellent goals, having a good trade review that includes the psychology aspects so that you're holding yourself accountable and you're tracking over time whether you're sticking to your rules, and if you're not, what else is going on for you. So getting a really good structure around that will actually go quite a long way to helping you to create more discipline. A second thing is the idea of habits. So the more that you can automate good habits, the easier it is then to free up space in your brain to actually focus on your trading. So that's a bit of a more complex issue because you have to get into what habits are helpful to you and all of that. But simple things like structure and habits will help you a lot in sticking to your trading rules. But the one that I want to focus on today is the idea of your subconscious mind. So anyone who's in the BBT webinars will hear me talk about this again and again. And it's so important. So the reason why willpower doesn't help you in sticking to your trading rules is that your subconscious mind actually controls 95% of your behavior and your conscious mind only controls 5%. So when we're talking about subconscious and conscious, the conscious mind is the mind that you are aware of, where, if you want to plan something for next week, if you want to solve a maths problem, whatever, it's all available there in your mind and you can draw on that information quickly and use it in your day-to-day life. Your subconscious mind is a lot deeper than that, and the information in your subconscious mind is not easily accessible. So you actually have to find a way to communicate with your subconscious in order to understand what's in there. But most likely, if you're not sticking to your trading rules, this probably applies to, I would say, about 99% of people. There's something in your subconscious mind that is actually causing a block for you. And so what happens is, if your subconscious scripts, so the things that sit in your subconscious, so they might be limiting beliefs, so things like I can never make money, I'm not a good person, if I have a losing trade, it says that I'm a failure as a person. All of these blocks that can be in our subconscious, if they're running as scripts in your mind, it doesn't matter what your conscious mind is planning to do, because your subconscious is 95% controlling your actions and your conscious mind is only controlling 5%. So your subconscious mind is always going to win. So if there isn't alignment between your subconscious and your conscious mind, it will play out in your trading. So you'll find that you're not sticking to your trading rules. And so trading is just another arena where our own psychological issues and limiting beliefs plays out. It also plays out in our money mindset, in our finances, plays out in relationships. So you can tell from your behaviors in your trading, if you're not sticking to your trading rules, there's probably something in your subconscious that is not aligned with what you're trying to do. Obviously, that takes a lot of effort to go diving into, and there's lots of different ways you can do it. But I just wanted to give people some quick questions to reflect on here in order to actually try and start you on the process of uncovering those beliefs. So the first one is, ask yourself what emotion is driving this behavior. So when you think of the rule that you're breaking, whether it's being too impatient, jumping into trades too soon, not waiting for the right setup, ignoring your daily loss limit, moving your stops, whatever it is, ask yourself what emotion is driving that behavior. And obviously do this away from your trading station. So not while you're in the middle of trading. This is something you would reflect on outside of a trading session. Ask yourself what's driving that behavior. So what emotion is behind it? Then ask yourself, what might your subconscious script be that's behind this emotion? So let's say you take a loss and that results in you revenge trading. So maybe the emotion is anger. So you get really angry that you've suffered this loss. You feel like the market's being unfair to you, and that triggers you to revenge trade. So then ask yourself, what might be in your subconscious? What's the subconscious script that's behind that happening? And in this example, it could be something like, life is unfair, I always get the hard end of the stick, or something like that. And so you feel that you have to actually work harder to rectify the situation. So therefore you go and you revenge trade and you're trying to get back at the market. That would be an example of how that might work. So ask yourself, what's the emotion that's driving the behavior? What script might be in my subconscious that is contributing to me feeling such an emotional response to something that is just, part of trading. And because it's your emotional response that will actually cause the next actions that you take. And it's those next actions that you take that will determine the success of your trading day or not. It's not necessarily the first mistake. It's what happens after you take the first mistake. And then lastly, just ask yourself, what meaning do I ascribe to this event? So if it is that you struggle with taking a loss, ask yourself, what does it mean? Or what do you say to yourself when you take a loss? Are you beating yourself up? Do you think it says something about your self-worth as a person? They're just examples. There's obviously tons and tons of different ways that this could apply to you. But if you ask yourself those questions, you'll start to actually get that bit deeper into your subconscious, and you'll start to understand where your subconscious mind might not be aligned with your conscious mind. And then the ultimate solution is to do some work to shift those beliefs in your subconscious. So that's quite a deep answer to those questions, but hopefully that just gives you even the first step on the path to unpicking this for yourself. And just to put this in a different context, that's a bit even more concrete. If you think of the whole diet sector and, health food industry, diet industry, it's multi-billion-dollar industry. But actually, what's behind a lot of people not sticking to their diets or not losing weight would be the same thing. Some script in their subconscious that is not aligned with what they're trying to do consciously. And so really, if people spent less money on fad diets and spent more money on therapy, they'd probably get better results. So, and I'm not saying that in a light way. I think that therapy is fantastic. It develops self-awareness, and I really think everyone can benefit for it. So this is a deep answer to what might seem a very simple thing, and you might be frustrated why you can't fix it, but actually give yourself a break. Your subconscious mind is probably running the show, and trying to stop that with willpower is like trying to just stop the tide with your two hands. So you just need to bring your subconscious on track, in alignment with your conscious mind, and then you'll find it much easier to actually stick to your trading rules.
Créde, thank you. Awesome discussion as always from you. And I just want to remind everybody that Créde has her own playlist on our YouTube channel now as well, that we're taking all these, clipping them. It takes a couple of days to get them up. So if you want to go check it out later, you can always do that. But once again, fantastic discussion. Really appreciate it. You've had wonderful feedback in the room and on YouTube about it. And anyway, take care. We'll see you in a couple of days.
Cheers, Norm. See you.